Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And this morning I'm coming to you from the Museum of Contemporary Art, and we've got this beautiful sculptural art installation which is at its absolute best during the evening, and probably even better during the early morning dawn. As you can see, it's sparkling and it's so gorgeous. Let's go nice and close here and check it out. As you can see, we've got the Harbour Bridge coming into view in the first light of today, and we've got this art installation which is absolutely glorious. Check it out. And through there I can just get a partial glimpse of the Opera House, but the sparkling, the light, this is just magic. And I recommend that you come down here, not during the day. Like during the day it's okay, but during the evening is when this thing comes to life. Like most of us, actually. We tend to sparkle when it's nighttime and party time. But what I plan to do today is to continue on my journey of Greece and how Greece contributed to the war effort in World War II. And over the next few days, we'll find out a little bit more about how the mighty Greeks were able to defend, to disrupt, to interrupt, and to cause Hitler, Mussolini and the Axis forces to change their plans during World War II. And through that delay, they gave Russia and other military forces enough time to get their acts together, and through the freaks of nature to be able to defend their territories and basically shape and change the direction of the war. So you know that in biblical times we have that the battle, that beautiful battle between David and Goliath, and that acts as a metaphor for all of us. That doesn't matter how big your opponent is, or how ferocious or how scary they may appear, there's hope and opportunity for everybody to do what they need to do, as long as your why is big enough and you understand what's at risk and what you're playing for. Then there's no limit to the beauty of the human spirit. And it is, and we all learn this in life, that when you think that you've got absolutely no chance, but you're willing to fight, is when you give your best effort and you become absolutely ferocious in your defense and in your ability to get the best out of yourself. So similarly, Greece on the 28th of October 1940 became the David, and the Goliath was the Nazi forces. It was Hitler, Mussolini and their Axis forces, for they appeared to be invincible in the world view, and they steamrolled through Europe and countries like Denmark, the mighty Danes, the mighty Vikings. A lot of people hold the Vikings as being very, very strong and very, very powerful. But the Danes in World War II gave up, surrendered without a fight. An envoy rode his motorcycle into into the capital there and issued the king an ultimatum, just a letter. He was on a motorbike and issued a letter, and the mighty Danes capitulated and surrendered without a fight. So put that on record and know of that, because during the war, Hitler, Mussolini were very, very powerful and frightening indeed. Anyway, on the 28th of October, as we know, the Greeks said the mighty ochi, which is an emphatic no to Mussolini having the right of passage through Greece, because what would have happened, what would have transpired if Mussolini was allowed by the Greeks to travel through Greece and through to Russia? He would have caught the Russians unprepared, and maybe the World War II would have had a different outcome, because it was a pincer effort. Germany would have been going through the north and Mussolini through the south in a pincer movement, and would have been able to attack Russia much earlier. But the mighty Greeks put up a defensive effort and were able to resist for 217 days, or somewhere around there, over 6 months were able to resist, and the war effort was put on hold for that 6 month period, and gave everybody else an opportunity to come together and to defend, help, resupply, and basically get to a position where they could shape the war effort. Anyway, so what I'll do today is I've got some quotes from some leaders, which I'd like to read. Just bear with me and I'll get access to them. And it's quite interesting hearing leaders talking about Greece and the Greeks. And let's have a look here. So there's a quote here from the Field Marshal of the Soviet Army, from his memoirs of World War II. If the Russian people manage to raise resistance at the doors of Moscow to halt and reverse the German torrent, they owe it to the Greek people, who delayed the German divisions during the time that they could bring us to our knees. Another one here by Sir Robert Anthony Eden, who was the Minister of War and Exterior of Britain during 1940 to 1945. And he said, regardless of what the future historians shall say, what we can say now is that Greece gave Mussolini an unforgettable lesson, that she was the motive for the revolution in Yugoslavia, that she held the Germans in the mainland and in Crete for 6 weeks, and she upset the chronological order of all German High Command's plans, and thus brought a general reversal to the entire course of the war, and we won. There's another one here by the French President, Charles de Gaulle, who said that it would not be an exaggeration to say that Greece upset the plans of Germany in their entirety by forcing her to postpone the attack on Russia for 6 weeks. We wonder what would have been the Soviet Union's position without Greece. And another one here. I am unable to give a proper breadth of gratitude I feel for the heroic resistance of the people and leaders of Greece. Another one here. By Franklin D. Roosevelt. On the 28th of October 1940, Greece was given a deadline of 3 hours to decide on war or peace. But even if 3 days or 3 weeks or 3 years were given, the response would have been the same. The Greeks taught dignity throughout the centuries, when the entire world had lost all hope. The Greek people dared to question the invincibility of the German monster rising against it and the proud spirit of freedom. He also went on to say, the heroic struggle of the Greek people against Germany's attack after she thunderously defeated the Italians in their attempt to invade the Greek soil filled the hearts of American people with enthusiasm and moved their compassion. Let me just see a couple more and we'll move on. Anyway, the lights have gone out on this now, so as you can see, without the light it's nowhere near as spectacular, but it is quite nice and beautiful. From a speech by Winston Churchill, the word heroism, I'm afraid, does not render the least of those acts of self-sacrifice of the Greeks, which were the defining factor in the victorious outcome of the common struggle of the nations during World War II for the human freedom and dignity. If it were not for the bravery of the Greeks and their courage, the outcome of World War II would be undetermined. And Adolf Hitler said in one of his speeches, for the sake of historical truth, I must verify that only the Greeks, of all the adversaries who confronted us, fought with bold courage and highest disregard of death. Another one here by a radio station. You fought unarmed and won, small against big. We owe you gratitude because you gave us time to defend ourselves. As Russians, as people, we thank you. Another one here by a Field Marshal von Paulus. I am sorry because I am getting old, but I shall not live long enough to thank the Greek people whose resistance decided World War II. That was from Joseph Stalin. And I think that could be possibly it. Let me just have a look there. There could be one more. Here's one more here from Mussolini. Mussolini said, the war with Greece proved that nothing is firm in the military and that surprises always await us. What a surprise we gave him. And one more here from the Luftwaffe. Your soldiers, instead of fleeing frantically as they did in France and Poland, were actually shooting at us from their planes. And he was a commander there, and was commenting on the Greek army was the only one which the Nazi Stuka diver bomber fighter planes did not cause panic. And here's another beautiful one from Maurice Schumann, the Minister of Exterior from France. Greece is the symbol of the tortured, bloodied, but live Europe. Never a defeat was so honourable for those who suffered it. Anyway, that's a few of the mentions that Greece got during World War II. that we need to keep near and dear to our hearts, and is something which is quite honourable. Not very many people know or acknowledge Greece's efforts during World War II, but it's important to know that all of us have a part to play with bullies, and it's only when you stand up to a bully that you actually get their attention, and you allow other people, other nations, to also grow a spine and to learn and realise what is indeed possible. So in preparation for Ohi Day, the 28th of October, Greece celebrates 2 remembrance days for military activities. One is 25th of March, which is Greek Independence Day, and the other one is 28th of October, which is Ohi Day. And Ohi Day is a significant day, not only for Greece, but everybody in the world who fights for freedom and democracy. Anyway, let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay well, stay relevant, and we must never, ever forget the role that Greece played during World War II. And it paid a big price. Greece paid a big price because following the Ohi Day, there was battles, there was war, and then Germany, Italy, Bulgaria rolled through Greece, and there was an occupation which lasted many years, which destroyed the economy and destabilised Greece to the point where we had a vicious civil war following, and which also shaped and changed Greece and forced many people to get up and leave and to start a new life in other countries throughout the world, just like my parents did here in Australia. Others went to America, others went to other countries to get a new start and a new life, because Greece had been brought to her economic knees. But Greece is never beaten, never defeated. She will always come back, and the Greek people, wherever they live throughout the world, will always be spirited in their support and their fight for freedom and democracy. Take care, Yassas, and spread the word about Ohi Day, and spread the word about Greece's contribution to World War II. Yassas, and bye for now.